Welcome, everyone, to our special class today, 7 scientifically proven ways to write insurance sales emails that get replies. My name is Jeremiah Demaray. I've had the privilege of speaking on the TED stage, and I've won several awards for insurance marketing. That's the last I'm going to talk about myself today. And I want to say thank you to the Elite Advisory Group who sponsored this event and the Insurance WebEx team, who is doing a phenomenal job in providing thought leadership in our space today, which is so needed to help all of us grow. Here's a little picture of what I look like. My work has been featured on Fox News, Worth Magazine, 40 Under 40, Employee Benefits News, the Web Marketing Association, Insurance Journal, many other outlets, because I've been humbled and privileged to be at the front lines of marketing in the insurance field, and I love to share what I've learned. So I got a quick question for you, and the question is this. If you're nervous about internet marketing, would you still take a look at some proven concepts if it meant thousands of dollars of more commission per month easily? Go ahead and give me a yes or no on this in the chat box right now so we can start things off. And by the way, when I ask for your engagement today, it's really not for my benefit. It's not going to make any difference to me whether you put a yes or no in the chat box right now, but it's absolutely 100% proven in Ivy League institutions that the more you interact in any training, the more you're going to retain at both a conscious and a subconscious level. And the only way you can really engage on the webinars is through a chat box because we're not in the same room. So by you putting a yes or no, you're actually engaging, you're interacting with your entire brain. And we'll get so much more out of today's training, which is why I highly encourage you to start interacting now. Don't be afraid to put a no in the chat box. I'm not going to call anybody out or embarrass anybody. The point is for you to be interacting so that it keeps your brain in peak learning state today. Okay, so go ahead and put a yes or no to my first question in there. Excellent. I'm getting a ton of yeses. I even got a couple of absolutelys, so that's great. So next question. If you don't currently have any email marketing strategy for your practice or your agency, would you be open to some new concepts if it was completely turnkey and done for you? Meaning you could complete the basic steps in a few minutes and you could use the ideas and swipe the ones I'm going to give you for the rest of your career? Give me a big yes on this one if that's an absolute no-brainer for you. Okay, piling in. The yeses are piling in. Excellent. You guys are a really engaged group. The analogy I'd like to use here is if there was a $100 bill on the ground and it didn't belong to anybody, would you bend over and pick it up? Well, of course you would, right? You wouldn't say, well, I'm not sure if I do that. You know, I'm really a financial advisor. I'm a retirement specialist. I'm an IUL person. I don't really think I could do this email marketing thing on my own. So I'm just not going to bend over and pick up that $100 bill. But the money is there to easily be picked up. So of course you're going to bend over and pick it up. Okay, last one to kick off our engagement here is, would you maintain an open mind today, even if you've never considered using email marketing to grow your financial practice in the past? Or if you already tried internet marketing of some kind, and maybe you're bringing in some preconceived notions about it, could you just put those on hold for a moment if it meant a different approach that could get you better results? Give me a yes or a no in the chat box. Okay, I got some does, like absolutely I would. Okay, good. All right, Larry, James, Brian, John, Jeffrey, Scott, Renee, Paula, Dave, excellent. All right, excellent engagement. All right, so now we got your brain in a peak state to get the most out of today. And by the way, I want to commend you because this class today was sent out to tens of thousands of insurance agents and advisors and hundreds registered, and you are the ones that have shown up to play full out and you're fully engaged. So I really want to commend you because this class is specifically for people who want to make measurable gains in their practice here in the next 90 days by using some savvy email marketing techniques. So here's why this class today is going to be different. It's not based on any theory or guesswork. I don't know about you, but I personally have a pet peeve with people who conduct classes or seminars and just dangle little carrots and don't really give you any value or theorize or just tell you to do general things without any specifics. That's really something that's near and dear to my heart not to do. And what I'm going to share with you is based on 15 years of experiments in the insurance and financial services arena that have generated over $301 million in commissions. 301 million. And I'll tell you, you'll understand why later. I actually wrote $301,493,098. You'll understand why that number was very important. Also, this is a newer concept called social selling. It's different than social media, and it is not social media. It has a higher return on investment, and it uses the most common communication tool today in business, which is email. The other reason why this is different is social media has a 40 times lower return on investment than email. If you can imagine that. That was a study done by McKinsey where they took Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, LinkedIn, YouTube, and they compared the return on investment to email. Email outranked all of them combined by 40 times. And that's why this process is guaranteed to work for you if you do it in the order and the process that we do. And if you stick around all the way to the end of the class today, I have a special gift for everybody. I'm looking forward to giving it to you. And at the end of the class, I'm going to offer a special opportunity for those who want to continue education. There'll be nothing for sale on this class at all, but it's really about delivering value to you. Now, who am I and what gives me the right to share, this information with you? Well, I'll be frank with you. I'm just an ordinary guy who happened to have made a ton more mistakes than most. I think maybe I'm a glutton for punishment, but I just happen to make more mistakes than others. I was invited to be part of a small startup, which I had no idea where it was going to go, and we needed to get exposure fast. The only tool that was available to us was email marketing. This was back in 2001 when Google wasn't even on anybody's radar. Yahoo was the main search engine. MySpace was the only social media network, and there was no such thing as LinkedIn, YouTube, Snapchat, Twitter, none of that. So I had to really try to generate business for the startup. And by the way, I had no idea what I was doing. Okay, seriously. I mean, I was out there flying blind. You should also know I have no marketing degree. Okay, and I don't even have all the contacts. Especially when I started, I knew nobody, and I was a nobody, and I was a 22-year-old kid trying to figure out my way around this. But then I happened to stumble on some incredible research through just poring over books and books. There weren't that many blogs at the time that talked about the strategies I'm going to share with you. But I found this incredible research, and I said, you know what? Might as well try it, because frankly, sending emails out is almost free. So if I win, then at least I have a positive ROI. And what's interesting, I just figured out how to make this whole email thing work in the insurance industry. And not only make it work 1, 2, or 3, or 4, or 5 times, but be predictable about it over and over again, and then even be able to teach it to others. So I started to use it on an ongoing basis. And in the last 15 years, these email marketing ideas have generated over 2,012,341 leads just in the insurance industry. The number is actually much higher, but I know the quantifiable one I can point to is at least 2 million. And it's generated over $301 million in commissions. Not too bad for making a lot of mistakes, right? And thankfully, my training has been seen by over 100,000 agents in over 51 countries. So this has given me an enormous vantage point to study and understand what's working and what's not when you look into the businesses of over 100,000 financial advisors, life insurance agents, IUL people, group benefits, voluntary benefits. It just gives me an incredible resource that I love to share the knowledge from. Then I discovered this incredible hack. Actually, there was several of them, but a couple of them I'm going to share with you today. And I got found by Fox News. An article was written about me there. I was actually, believe it or not, invited to give a TED Talk on the democratization of marketing, where I included some of these concepts you're going to learn in my discussion. I was invited to speak in front of the top producing advisors in the country just a few months ago in Chicago. And then one of my longtime mentors, Jay Abraham, who is the genius mastermind behind many business successes, such as Tony Robbins, and has personally consulted the CEO of UPS, as well as so many other multinationals. He's generated over $9 billion in worldwide profits from his ideas, invited me to teach at a small, intimate mastermind of the top 25 consultants in the world. Jay himself has been called one of the top 5 executive coaches by Forbes. So what an honor. And it was just by making a lot of mistakes, figuring out what worked, and then being willing to share it. So I'm so excited to be here today to show up and share those with you. Now, perhaps if you haven't started using email in perhaps a more strategic way, here's what may be happening. And tell me in the question box right now if any of these sound like you. You don't get replies to your emails. How many of us can say yes to that? Okay, ton of yeses coming in. You're overlooked by potential clients that you know you could serve at a higher level than your competitors. Tell me yes or no if that's ever happened to you. Amazing, tons of yeses. Okay, you're looking the same as other advisors, meaning you really don't have any points of differentiation from the advisor down the block or the agent down the block. Okay, bunch of yeses there. You don't get as many referrals as you used to. You're not getting enough leads. Okay, that's a big one. I'm seeing a lot of yeses there. Your calendar is empty of revenue producing activities. So you might have activity, but it's actually not activity that generates revenue. How many people can honestly relate to that? Okay, lots of honest yeses. Very good. Appreciate it. Sean is saying not enough. Yeah, I definitely feel you, Sean. We're spending more than we should on seminars or traffic. Our marketing methods are not converting as high, and we're unable to meet our key performance indicators to move business forward. Tell me in the chat box right now, has any of these things ever happened to you? Okay, excellent. I'm seeing a ton of yeses. Okay, good. So we're familiar with the symptoms, right? So here's why we as an industry, we need to get better. And I'll be talking a lot about this in my upcoming book called Shift, in which you'll be hearing about, no doubt, through Insurance WebEx. But here's basically why we need to get better. Really simply, we all have shorter attention spans, right? If you think about the amount of information we have to process just to get business done today, we need tools to get business done faster. Email marketing is the highest return on investment digital marketing activity according to McKinsey. So if you're going to do something, why not make it the highest ROI activity? Your prospects are using it every day. There's a wealth of research that's come out about how high net worth people are using email and social media to evaluate financial advisors and agents every day. Sadly, most of us in the insurance industry are still using letter writing techniques that stem from the 1970s and 80s when we used to type letters and mail, fax, or FedEx them. I mean, this is 40 years ago and we're still writing as if it's that time, but the times have changed. Our psychologies have changed and our brains have been wired differently as a result. So that's why we need to get better. And finally, it works. Here's a quick success story from one of my private clients. Michael at a New York City is a young advisor who goes after CFOs for advanced financial plans for their corporations. And since using some of these techniques, he's had one new meeting every single week with the CFO. How many people would be happy with half of that result? Just 2 meetings a week with the CFO in one of the most competitive markets in the industry. Okay, ton of yeses there. Another one of my clients, he sells a kind of unique defined benefit type solution. He started using these email techniques out of St. Louis. He was meeting with one new CEO every week since he started. He made $350,000 in commissions in 3 months using these techniques. So do they work? Absolutely. So here's what I'm going to teach you today. You're going to learn the one-line email secret that generated 324 leads in 24 hours. You're also going to get the meeting follow-up email that generated a 54% response rate from so-called dead leads. These are people that had that salespeople thought were completely dead and they stopped following up on. I'm going to give you 7 proven subject lines that get open. You're going to get the single word to add to any request that instantly increases response rates by as high as 93%. And this one's going to be a little graphical, but I think you're going to like it. You're going to learn the simple graphic hack that makes every email and every presentation instantly more credible. So are you ready to learn these techniques? Are you ready to actually get started with this? Give me a big yes in the question box if you're ready and you have your notepad handy and you've turned off all your distractions. Okay, boom. I got a let's go from Larry. Yes, big yeses from Daniel, John, Judy, Mark, John, Joseph, Charles, Dave, Adolfo, John. Okay, C says Kevin. Awesome. We got bilingual folks in the audience. I love it. Okay, so here are the 7 science-backed ways to write more effective emails. I'm going to go through them really quick and then we'll spend time on each. Number 1, make it conversational. Number 2, use authority triggers. Number 3, give a reason why you want people to reply. Number 4, use humor. Number 5, use digits versus numbers. This is really interesting. Number 6, keep it short and simple. And then number 7, be specific. Okay, I went pretty quick, but we're going to stop and spend time on each one. Let's start with number 1, creating the curiosity gap. When you write your email subject lines, think of them as the headline to your email. Just as when you're flipping through a magazine, if you see a headline that captures your attention, its only job is to get you to read the first line of the first paragraph. And that's the way to think about your email subject lines. You should actually give more attention to your subject line than you do to the content, because if the subject line is killer, you're going to get more people to read what you actually want them to say. So learn how to create curiosity in your subject line. If you're too specific, people will not want to click. And I'll give you a cool example in a moment. But if you are a little bit vague, curiosity will help to drive more email opens. So let's take a swipe out of Upworthy. Upworthy has gotten worldwide reputation for testing its headlines by having people vote on them to see which ones are the most effective, and then they use those to market their content. What a genius concept. So here's one that included Mitt Romney. So, and by the way, this is based on millions of views. So this research is really powerful. So they propose that if it's too vague, people don't want to click. So Mitt Romney says something bad again. Okay, that's a little bit vague. If you're too specific though, then it's like, I don't need to click because I already know what's inside. Mitt Romney says, I want the middle class to be tied to the roof of my car. All right, so now you know the quote. You're not even going to read the story. You're like, look at what Mitt Romney said. Ergo, the best way is to write it as this. You will not believe what Mitt wants to do to you. Now, how many of us would agree that the third headline is the one that will get the most clicks? Go ahead, give me a big yes in the question box if you agree. Yeah, of course, I'm getting tons of yeses, right? So you notice how the third headline brings that curiosity? So let me give you some ideas. You may want to write these down because these are some subject lines that have been proven to work enormously well, not just in insurance and financial services, but really in any market, in any industry, because they're so curiosity inducing. First one, quick question. This is kind of an old standard. You put that in a question in a subject line, I promise you that your subject line open rates are going to see an increase. And you can do that for a whole variety of things, whether you want to meet a person, follow up from them, get a yes, get a commitment. Hello, question mark. That's a great one to send if somebody's kind of hasn't been responding to your emails. And it's even a great one to send to somebody who's you've never met with. Now, this one is a little more, I'd say, creative, but you could use it if you have a newsletter that you send out to your audience, how to make a fortune with a foolish idea. And the way where I would take that one is you can take a so-called foolish investment concept, and for example, I know a lot of you use whole life plans as a base for investment strategies. And you could present an argument or a story where somebody you met once said that that was a foolish idea, yet most of your clients are making a fortune in retirement because they took your advice. You see how you could open up with that curiosity, but who here wouldn't admit that, I mean, even if I sent that to you and you're a financial advisor, you're going to be, wow, okay, well, what is this all about, right? We're all interested in making fortunes with stupid ideas because we think, well, is there a stupid idea that I missed? Like the pet rock. What a stupid idea, but that guy made millions of dollars. Here's another one for investors who hate paying commissions. Let's say you have an investment product where you provide fee-based financial planning. You could use that as a subject line to get people to hire you to just create the plans. Hidden money, 17 markets that pay. Perhaps you want to provide advice to your clients or your prospects, and you've got some some markets that you suggest people should invest in for your RIA. So you can say hidden money, 17 markets that pay. Here's another great one. Have you seen this? By the way, this is a really good email subject line to use. If you sent out an email and you can see by your analytics that the people have not opened it, then you can resend it and just say, have you seen this? I use that one all the time. Here's another one. You asked for it, right? It's non-threatening because you put the little smiley emoji at the end, right? You asked for it. And then from there, you can include the proposal, you can send them a link to an educational video and so forth. And then here's a really good one. Okay, now this is, and people hate that. You know why? Because it's an unfinished sentence. And automatically, when you see that in your inbox, you're going to be like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, I got to read this because what's the rest of the sentence, right? We created a psychological open loop that demands to be closed. Okay, so those are actually 8 subject line ideas I want to give you today to swipe. Let's jump over to method number 2, which is authority triggers. One of the things that is really a strong driver today, we don't want to admit it, but even no matter how old we are, how successful we are, how much money we make, peer pressure is one of the strongest psychological drivers as to why human beings make decisions. So if you're, let's say, prospecting a group of people, let's say that work in a office, and you are trying to get them to adopt, let's say, your 401k plan, you could send your email to multiple people and include the names of the stakeholders. And the reason why that's powerful is when they see the name of a stakeholder, we take a cue from what others do. So if you're sending me an email and you've told me that 2 people that I respect, Jay Abraham and Tony Robbins, have done this, I'm like, oh, okay, well, if they're doing it, well, what should I be doing? You see? A lot of people use this in financial marketing. You probably have seen those little ads, Warren Buffett's stern warning to people who want to retire over, at 50 years old, right? They're using Warren Buffett as the authority trigger. Here's a quick little example of one email from the software marketing industry, which got a 33% reply rate. Look at this. So notice how the 2 is written to 2 people. So they actually wrote it to 2 people. In this case, you could write it to a husband and a wife, for example. And then they use an authority trigger. Ali, somebody who's on their team, told me he's interested in getting Yesware for the sales team, but that the cost acquisition may stall conversations. Customers here's the 2 more triggers, good data and ad roll told us that too often data in Salesforce is inaccurate and they need more transparency in their pipeline. That's why they choose Yesware to sync email and calendar activities automatically and build reports specific to their needs. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 triggers right there. Okay, so you can do the same thing by writing, let's say if you're allowed to use the names of other customers, or let's say a very popular investor, Warren Buffett would be a great example. You could say Warren Buffett has gone on record to say that investing in blank strategy is one of the strongest and smartest financial moves for people who are heading into retirement. Okay, is that helpful for you? Show me a big yes if you're enjoying these ideas and if you're liking this. Okay, John, Daniel, Sean, Judy, Renee, Scott, John, Ian, excellent. Okay, tons of yeses coming in, beautiful. All right, also, if you've got any logos, brands, and certifications, please use them. Which of these emails is more compelling to reply to? By the way, there's no content. This is my personal from email. Would you say left or right? I'm not even going to point anything out to you. I just want you to look at it. Left or right? Tell me in the chat box right now which email has more authority, left or right? Okay, I got a bunch of smart cookies here. Yeah, everyone's telling me left, right? Larry says it's the logos. That's right. It's the logos. Hey, Larry, good to see you out here. So it's the logos that do that, right? Because, I've been mentioned on all these outlets, so I'm going to use them in there. So my emails almost always get a reply. In fact, when I don't get a reply, it's kind of like weird for me because when I write my emails, most of the time I get a reply in 24 hours, even if I've never discussed anything, and the person doesn't even know me. They just look at it. They're like, oh, okay. All right, if this guy's been mentioned on Fox, I should probably reply. So if you have any mentions, please use them. Quick experiment here. This is the website of a fee-based financial planner. How many of you would pay this woman $1,000 for a financial plan just based on what you see on the website right now? Give me a yes or no in the chat box. Okay, most people are saying no. All right, now again, make sure you take your financial advisor hat off for a second. This woman is a financial advisor. How many of you now would pay her $1,000 for a financial plan? I mean, this experiment never fails to amaze me. Almost got 100% reversal. Almost everybody says yes. Why? Those authority triggers are built in, and those have been scientifically proven to increase conversions and credibility. So imagine if you had those prior to people even meeting you, how much confidence they're going to place in you and how much higher they will close because other people have already endorsed you. When you have all these media outlets that say, yes, this person is credible, yes, we trust this person, it's like the vetting process is completely done, right? It's almost like our brain says, I trust this person. Okay, that was method number 2. Let's jump to method number 3, give a reason. And in this one, I'm going to give you the single word you should add whenever you're asking somebody for something, whether you're doing it over the phone or in email, which we do all the time. This came from a study done by Harvard social psychologist Ellen Langer. And she did an experiment which led to the result that people were more willing to comply with a request. In this experiment, it was to cut in line when people used the word because. Because. Please write that down. And here's what the social experiment was. They took a group of people and they told half of them to cut in line at the copy machine and just say, can I use the copy machine first? That's all they said. But then the second group of people, she said, I want you to say, can I use the copy machine first because I need to make a copy? The second group had 93% compliance just by saying the word because. So how do you use that in email? Here's an example. Let's say you're connected to somebody on LinkedIn that is connected to somebody that you want to talk to. You could simply do this. Hi, Susan, could you do me a favor and introduce me to John Smith? Because I've noticed him on LinkedIn. He looks like an incredible business person I would like to meet. Thanks in advance, Jerry. Notice here, there's nothing about financial services. It's just because I've noticed him and he looks like an incredible business person I'd like to meet. You see how powerful that is? And the word incredible is a really powerful psychological word. So you're giving glory, you're giving honor to somebody else, which puts you in a humble position. And people like to help humble people. They don't like to help arrogant people. So being demanding with your requests will instantly decrease your chances of being successful in email. So think like a humble person and remember, use the word because. Okay, here's method number 4, use humor. And you're going to understand why I have a picture of Kermit the Frog here. So O'Quinn and Aronoff, who are behavioral psychologists in a firm that does a lot of experiments like this, brought in participants who were told to negotiate on the price of a painting. So one group was the buyers and the other group was the sellers. And half of the sellers received instructions to use this line, which you may want to try on your next close. My final offer is $20,000 and I'll throw in a pet frog. I'll throw in a pet frog. How funny is that? Now, why does that work? Well, when people said that, it relaxed everybody, right? It took the tension out of it. It led to relaxation, smiles, and increased compliance with buyers. And this is unbelievable. Buyers agreed to pay significantly more money than when the frog joke was not used. Isn't that incredible? So Dan, I see you on the line. I know that your team is out there selling wonderful programs on video. Why not give them a chance and use that on their next closing call, right? Hey, tell you what, I'll give you these psychological trigger powered videos for $69 a month and I'll throw in a pet frog. I mean, give it a try, right? Tell you what, my final offer is I will handle all of your finances. We'll get you signed up with this whole life program. We'll get everything taken care of, and I'll even throw in a pet frog, right? And as a joke, you may even want to send them a little stuffed frog like Kermit the Frog or anything like that, just to reinforce that, right? So isn't that a cool idea you could use? Let me show you how you can use this inside an email. So this one, our team uses this all the time. It works really well. And you can use this for anything, okay? Hey, Tim, haven't heard back from you. That tells me one of three things. One, you've already chosen a different company for this, and if that's the case, please let me know so I can stop bothering you. I love how straightforward that is. Number two, you're still interested, but haven't had the time to get back to me yet. Or number three, you've fallen and you can't get up. In that case, let me know. I'll call 911. Please let me know which one it is because I'm starting to worry. Thanks in advance. I look forward to hearing from you. Cheers. This little email got a 46% reply rate. I used a version of this with one of my clients who had a whole bunch of attendees from Social Security seminars who never booked appointments. And he was calling and nobody replied to him. He sent out this email. Within 20 minutes, he had 5 replies and 3 of them had booked appointments. One of them is going to move $1 million worth of assets into the company. Wow, unbelievable, right? Um, I mean, I'm getting a ton of wows. Give me a wow if this is opening up some ideas and possibilities in the chat box right now. Go ahead and give me some wows. Okay, tons of wows coming in. Salim, James, John, Paula, Kevin. Kevin gave me 3 wows. Mark gave me an expletive. Daniel, Sharon, Sean, Anthony, Larry, good stuff. Wowza, says Lizanne. Well, you guys are engaged audience. I absolutely love this. Okay, great. I'm having a lot of fun here. Let's keep going. So method number 5, this is digits versus numbers. Okay, digits versus numbers. This is really fascinating for me. So a whole bunch of research was done around this, and they found that readers, when they did eye scanning studies, where they actually will sit people in front of computer screens and they have cameras focused onto their eyeballs, and they look to see where they're looking on the screen. It's called eye scan heat mapping. It's pretty cool stuff. What they noticed is that readers scan the text and they pick out headlines, highlighted words, bulleted lists, and links. And that's how people read on a screen. They don't read, they scan. And scanning is even more prevalent for people who read email newsletters, ergo emails. So why is it that we, I'm going to include myself, we fixate on numbers? Because a number represents facts, which is something that users typically relish, don't they? People prefer facts to back up decision making. Although they make their decision by emotion, they will justify by facts. And sometimes people are looking for specific facts. How many of you have ever had one of those clients who had a whole bunch of research they printed out from the internet about annuities or life insurance or whole policies or stock market picks or whatever, because they wanted to be armed with facts, right? They walk into your office. Yeah, ton of people, right? So here's a couple of ideas. Instead of writing 17, you put it the digits, 17% tax savings. If instead of saving $1,000 more per month, you write in $1,397.13 per month. Or 76 former IRS attorneys recommend this stock, right? IRS attorneys are not known for making stock picks. I actually put that headline as kind of a trip up, but just the fact that I used 76, I used IRS, I used the word attorney. So I have fact, authority, maybe scary authority, right? Recommend this stock. Who cares if they've never even picked a stock before? Just reading that, you think that that's an authoritative headline, right? Even though people don't go to IRS attorneys for stock picks. You see how incredible that was? I mean, that's like a meta psychological trick we all just played on each other, right? Amazing. Okay, but even when a number doesn't represent a product attribute, it's more compact and thus attractive over representation of hard information than flowery verbiage. So this is from the Nielsen Norman Group, by the way. They do fantastic research. So when you're going to represent something, instead of writing 17, put the number. Instead of saying thousands, be specific. That's why in my opening statements, I told you exactly how much money people have made using my strategies and ideas. And I told you exactly how many leads, right? Did that seem more believable to you, the fact that I could actually point out the precise number? Tell me what, put the word fact if when I showed you specific numbers, it became instantly more believable to you. Go ahead, put the word fact right now. Yeah, absolutely. We got Kyle who's saying that's an Occam's razor rule. Very good, Kyle. Excellent. We got tons of yeses coming in. Kevin, John, Scott, John, Sean, Adolfo, fact, big fact there. Yeah, excellent stuff, guys. Okay, so for example, I just took a snapshot of some emails that had came in. Look at the ones that stood out because they all had numbers. I had a notification block. It had a whole bunch of numbers there. Tesla and Elon Musk electric empire begins to crumble. Issue number, right? So you can have a headline and then put a number to your newsletters. Join 250 of Europe's largest insurance data and analytics event. Fascinating, right? See, just by using numbers. By the way, another really powerful way, this is the graphical hack I told you about earlier. Another really powerful way is to use graphics like statistics and data in the form of charts and graphs. And I know that most financial advisors are really good at this because you all have cool software that does a lot of this for you, right? But have you ever thought of putting actual pictures of charts in your emails? So quick poll to the audience. Look at this sheet. Okay, this screen right now, statistics and data make you appear more credible. So we'll call this slide A. This is slide B. Statistics and data make you appear more credible. Which of these slides seems more authoritative to you? A or B? Tell me in the chat box now, please. Yep, I got a whole bunch of smart marketers here. Everyone is telling B. Yep, that's right. No doubt B, says Renee. That's right. Guess what? The chart has nothing to do with what we're talking about. I don't know if any of you read it, but it's actually a chart I use to describe the average cost per lead and how social selling is more beneficial. It's not even talking about open rates. But the fact that the chart was there, psychologically, it's like, oh, that's more believable. Now, I'm not saying you use fake charts or made up charts or use charts that have nothing to do with what you're talking about. I simply use that as pointing out a psychological trick that happens that we can't deny. And even though all of us on this line are incredibly smart and brilliant, I mean, you guys are so intelligent. You have to have a license to sell what you do, right? And many of you have mathematical minds and you know how to do complex formulations, but even you were caught up in this experiment, right? So I'm overtly showing these to you and pointing them out so that you can see how powerful they are. I love getting meta on this stuff, right? Okay, here's a takeaway. When you're writing an email, use digits to represent gains, savings, numbers, and in your subject lines to stop people from scanning through and just stopping onto your email so you're the one that's written. And then when possible, don't overdo it, but use simple charts. Don't put the high complex ones, but maybe there's a before and after chart or 3 bars, 4 bars maybe, just to simply get your point across. All right. We're going into the home stretch here. I know you're still with me and I can see engagement is high. So pay really close attention because in this one, I'm going to give you the one-line email that got a huge conversion. You can actually go and try this afternoon. Okay, method number 6, keep it short and simple. This is from data culled from 5 years of emails in an executive recruiting firm. Okay, so these are people who are prospecting to people who are happy at their jobs. So that's a really hard email to get across. So probably second hardest, getting people to switch financial advisors. Okay, but researchers found that shorter emails result in quicker response time, which lead to higher overall productivity for sales teams. Now, be considerate of your audience and use spacing, numbers, and bulleted lists whenever you can, so that you're not writing huge blocks of paragraph text, but rather short sentences and bullets so that your message is broken up. Marshall Van Alstyne from MIT argues that the length of the tweet, roughly 140 characters, is ideal if you're looking for a response. So for example, which email are you more likely to respond to? The one on the left or the one on the right? Just, you don't even have to read it. Which one do you think you're more likely to respond to? Put left or right in the chat box right now. Yep, everyone's telling me left, right? Why? Because it's just a single question and it's like, okay, hey, you went a little radio silent. Would you like to discuss this or is it back burner? Right? Really, really simple. You could use that on your prospects. All right, here's the one-line email strategy that takes that concept to the next level. Here's what you do. Take a list of all your prospects' emails. Don't buy lists, okay, that don't know you. This works for people who you've talked to but never bought. Take this and then take that list, load them into your email tool, Constant Contact, MailChimp, send them the single email, okay? You ready for it? Give me a big yes if you're ready for this one-line email that you can do today that has been proven to shake the tree. Okay, awesome. I'm getting tons of yeses. Big yes from Kevin. Okay. All right, here we go. Here's the one-line email. Subject line, you put the person's first name or you use the word quick question. John, do you still need help with? And then you put in that sentence whatever you do. Do you still need help with insurance? Do you still need help with your retirement plan? Do you still need help with your investments? Do you still need help with your 401k plan? Whatever it is that you sell, you put that in there. That's all you do. And by the way, don't try to put anything else. I had one carrier say this, hey, Jeremiah, that's great. I'm going to try this out. They put the sentence, and then after they said, because we offer short-term plans, dental plans, life insurance plans, whole life plans, term life plans, and they got zero response. I'm like, well, of course you did. You didn't listen to what I told you. So keep it really, really simple. You can use your standard signature line, but the key is to make it look like it came from your individual email. Do you still need help with? Okay, now let me show you how cool this email is. It really works. I had one insurance agent send this out. She got 8 contracts in 24 hours for $10,000. Generated 324 leads in 2 days. Another one sent this out, got $8,000 in commissions in 2 weeks. Another person who sells commercial lines sent this out to business prospects, so CEOs and CFOs that she thought she lost. She made $241,000 in commissions in 90 days from it. Okay, this actually works. I had one guy who, in my opinion, is the smallest email list in history. He had 61 people on his email list. He sent them out, got 47 responses, generated 37 appointments, and ended up with 29 new clients, many of them cross-selling other policies. Unbelievable, right? This woman here took a picture of all of the deals she closed from this single email that she sent out. So I know it works. All right. Was that cool? Did you guys like that? Because I'm about to give you the final hack. John says, I swiped that from you last week. Awesome, John. Please tell me how it worked out for you, because I hope that you did it. This was one of the most watched articles on the NAFA magazine. So I know that people like this article because it hit like #1 in the most viewed articles of the week or something. Okay, last one here as we go into the home stretch, and hopefully I can take a few questions if we have time. Method number 7 is be specific. According to research by psychologist Robert Sutton, people are more responsive and willing to help if they've been given clear directions on how to contribute. Most of the times, though, we write very vague emails. People are more likely to respond to email requests that are easy to answer. We've seen that with the last email, as opposed to complex messages that require more time and mental energy to address. That's from Carnegie Mellon research. So on your next email, do not use open-ended statements like, let me know what works best for you. Well, no, I'm not going to do that, because that means I have to look at my calendar, then I have to flip over, then I get out of my email flow, and then I'm going to get distracted because I might accidentally open up CNN or ESPN at the same time. So no, I'm not going to reply to your email. Or how is your schedule this week? How's my schedule? Are you kidding me? My schedule is always busy, so I'm not going to reply to your email and start giving you options and typing out the days and the weeks and the hours of the day I'm free. Whoa, that sounds like a lot of work, right? Instead, do this. Take the time and energy to make the decision for both of you. Now that's really key. Make the decision for both of you, or they will opt for no decision and then you get no reply. Here's a couple of ideas for you. End every email with a pointed call to action. For example, are we moving forward? Should we meet? Yes or no? Are you free Tuesday? Are you interested, or do you want to hold off? Right? Be specific in your requests and you will see your conversions skyrocket. Here's a couple more. Can you meet next Tuesday to review the file I sent you? Are you interested to continue, or do you want to hold off now? Should I tell your secretary to book us a time next week? Should I consider this a not now and follow up in 2 months? All right, just giving you a little bit of time there to write those down. Excellent. Okay, so here's what we just learned. You just learned the one-line email secret that generated 324 leads in 24 hours. You also got the meeting follow-up email that generated a 54% response rate from dead leads. That was the one where we said, did you fall and, right? Have you fallen and you can't get up? I gave you 7, actually a bonus, 8 proven subject lines that get opened. I gave you 1 word to ask to any request that increases in response by 93%. That was the word because. And I gave you the simple graphical hack. Remember the charts? That makes every email and presentation instantly more credible. So I have a little gift for staying all the way to the end of the class today. I have a giveaway called the top 101 high converting email open subject lines. So earlier I gave you 8. Today, because you stuck around to the end, I'm going to give you 101. So here's how we're going to do that. Through the GoToWebinar feature, there's a new handout feature. And so if you look at that, a little file will pop up in your handout in just a moment. I'm just looking for it, and let me see where you are, sir. $101. It always happens, right? Oh, there we go. Got it. Okay, I just added something there. It's almost done uploading. Okay, you should see a little file that starts with the word cheat sheet, top 101 high converting. That is my gift for you, so that you get lots of ideas that you can swipe on your next email campaign. How do you like that? Is that a cool gift for you? Awesome. Okay, I got a ton of yeses coming in. Yes, I love it. Yes, awesome. Thanks. Beautiful. Terrific. Very cool. Lovely. Okay. Excellent. Well, I'm glad you guys appreciate that gift. Okay. So if you're interested, I'm just going to make this as a little offer here. As I mentioned, I'm not selling anything today, but inevitably, whenever I do these, I get a ton of people connecting with me on LinkedIn and they want to have a chat with me. So here's what I'm willing to do because of the partnership with Insurance WebEx and Elite Advisory Group. If you're interested in having a further discussion on how perhaps I could coach or mentor you or just give you some ideas on how to increase your production in the next 90 days, I am opening up a complimentary 60-minute strategy session for the first 5 people on the call. And the purpose of that is really to help you identify any obstacles that are stopping you from going to the next level. And a lot of my expertise is in insurance and financial marketing, so we could probably have a discussion centered around that. But I'm also happy to share with you some million-dollar strategies that I know are working right now for many of my higher level clients in the field for life insurance, annuities, whether you're struggling with prospecting techniques, automated email marketing, funnels, and LinkedIn, and then show you a path to get there so you're clear on what you need to do moving forward and give you that roadmap to success. The only little caveat that I do ask is that you put up $100 as a refundable deposit just so you show up. I know nobody on this line is like this, but it's happened in the past where people book an appointment of my time, which normally bills at a very high rate, and then they don't show up. And I'm sad for them because, I was there ready to show up and serve, but I have to put a higher value in my time. Otherwise, I don't end up speaking with people who really care about their business. So I hope you understand, and I don't mean to be offensive or rude to anybody, but it's just I have to watch my time like a hawk, because if I don't, nobody else will. So there's just $100 refundable deposit. I'm not here to make $100. Trust me on that. But if you're interested and you want to have a chat with me and have a strategy session, just go to that link at the bottom of the screen. It's bit.ly/3M results for the 300 million that was generated. So bit.ly/3M results. It's a quicker way than replying to all of you by email. If you want to do that, great. I'd be happy to take the first 5. I just don't have time to go through 100 people that are on this call today. So a couple of cool stories I want to share with you just to inspire you, because inevitably what happens on calls like this, we hear cool ideas and then we get scared to use them, and then we go back to the regular world, right? So here's a couple of cool stories that I want to share with you just to inspire you. This is Richard out of Little Rock. He started using just one of the ideas on LinkedIn that I've taught. And he says, in the last 3 months, I've had 149 meetings, and we're just getting started. Okay, 3 months, that's average about 50 meetings a month. I love this guy, Bill out of Jacksonville. He's been averaging 30 meetings a month for 10 months straight. He didn't even know what LinkedIn was when we got started. He didn't even have a profile. But even in the first 90 days, he made $35,000 in commissions just with these simple techniques that I've started sharing. Paul out of Houston, financial advisor, has been enjoying 300 appointments per 6-month cycle. And he's already written $200,000 in life premium in the past couple of months. And he's actually adding more agents now because his program is so successful. This is Bill, who I showed you before there. Alan out of Milwaukee, annuities, life, long-term care, med sups, 237 appointments in 6 months. Kevin out of New Jersey does planning solutions, portfolio management, estate and insurance planning, asset protection, 240 appointments in 6 months. Here's Richard again. So anyways, I just wanted to share that with you to inspire you. If that sounds intriguing to you and you want to have a chat and maybe look for ways that this could apply to you, I'm very happy to have that call for the first 5, okay? We got a few minutes left, and I want to open up the questions right now to handle any of the any questions that you might have. Bruce, you're not selling anything. I'm heartbroken. Yeah, Bruce, today is all about giving, my friend. But if you want to have a chat, be very happy to have you on there. Thank you for the gift. Interesting webinar. Great. I accept, says Michael. I want to be number 1. Great, Michael. Go ahead. You just need to put that in. And by the way, once you do that, you'll get access to my private calendar, and then we'll have a nice chat. Okay. I didn't see the gift near the session's end. Can you please resend? Roger? So if you look in the handout section, you should see it. It's already there in your GoToMeeting bar, probably right above or below where you're asking me these questions. You'll see a little line that says handouts, 1 of 5. So just go there and you'll be able to download it. All right, hopefully that helps. What about an easy email marketing program, says James. James, are you asking for like a tool you can use to easily send out emails? If that's what you're asking, probably one of the simplest is MailChimp. That is like dead simple. And if you're looking for a little more support, I try Constant Contact because they have amazing support. You can start for free and you can just, load them and go. Judy, thanks for the webinar. Very informative. I will be trying this. Excellent, Judy. And I want to encourage you and let you know I'm waving the biggest Judy flag you've ever seen, so you succeed. Bruce, you done good. Thank you, Bruce. Hopefully that helps you, James. Let's see. What is your main website and what low price programs do you have to get started on a low budget? Anthony, if you want to learn more about what we do, you can go to yourinstantauthority.com. That's kind of our program where we do social selling. We outsource it, meaning if you want us to do the prospecting for you using these techniques, you can learn more about us at yourinstantauthority.com. That's yourinstantauthority.com. Okay, hope that helps you. What's a simple non-geeky CRM program, says Dawn. Kevin, actually, thanks, Kevin. Kevin is recommending one to you. It's called Marketing Mailbox. So I've never heard of that. One of your fellow advisors is recommending it. So go ahead and give it a shot. Thanks, says James. Very good. Dave, what's the cost to sign up? Dave, I'm not sure what you're asking about. I'm not selling anything. I am offering a complimentary strategy session. I'm just asking for a $100 deposit, which I'll give back to you once you show up, just to make sure you do show up. Okay, so that's why that's there. Okay, hopefully you understand why I'm doing that. I'm not trying to be rude, really. Let's see, Michael, on MailChimp, I hear if a reject rate attained, you are out. So Michael, a reject rate, or let's say a complaint or a spam or emails not delivered rate, will be high if you buy a list or you start marketing to a list that you haven't talked to in a while. So what I'd recommend to avoid that is if you have, let's say, 10,000 people on your list or even 1,000, just start uploading them 100 at a time. And this way you won't get a ton of rejections or bounces because people have moved or abandoned their email addresses. And that'll probably avoid that. Okay. Let's see. Thank you, says Anthony. Really good. John. Would love to pay for some coaching. Really enjoyed your webinar today. Not a problem, John. You don't have your business debit card with you. Not a problem, John. feel free to send us an email if you want to have my staff reach out and maybe they'll just work something out with you, John. If you want to give me your phone number, your private email in the chat there, I'll have somebody reach out for you. And if you want to have a chat about what we're doing, I'm more than happy to discuss that for you. Let's see. Kevin says that marketing mailbox will not do the rejects, but it will scrub your list. So thanks, Kevin. I appreciate your spirit of contribution there. Let's see. Bruce, I have to ask, are you providing refreshments for attendees? Bruce, I hope that the mind grapes that I dropped today will be more than refreshing for you to have success, and even more refreshing when you start having more success in your business and you can enjoy the fruits of your labor. Send me an email, Bruce. Tell me that it worked out and you loved it and that it succeeded. Okay. Hey, Jeremiah, I'm on your calendar here and I just want to go ahead and book. Yep, not a problem, David. So once you go through this bit.ly/3M results, you will just put that $100 in and then it'll go to my personal calendar, which you can't find anywhere on the internet, but it's my personal calendar that allow you to book a time for us to have a strategy session. And I really look forward to getting to know you. Okay, let's see. Bruce, there's always one in the audience. This time it's me. Yes, you did make me smile, Bruce. You probably used method number 4, right? Humor. So very good. John, we got your information here. So we'll just take that. We'll take that here and then we'll contact you offline. Okay. Let's see. John, hi. I would like coaching through LinkedIn with my website on a new exciting index life selling program. John, not a problem. Go ahead, just book yourself a strategy session. I'd love to hear what you're doing and how you want to use LinkedIn. Again, just use the strategy session form. So I'll just go ahead and put this in the chat box for everybody right now. Some of you are trying and it's running a little slow. There is a ton of people on this call, so just wait and refresh. Again, I can only do 5 people, so I haven't even checked my inbox to see how many people registered, but just make sure that you use that. That's the process I'm going through, just to be fair to everybody, so that there's no favoritism. Okay, very good. All right. Well, listen, everyone, it has been a phenomenal time here with you. You have been an amazing audience. I wish every group that I spoke to was as savvy as you guys. So thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate all your time. Connect with me on LinkedIn. Oh, I forgot to hit send. Send to all. Okay. There's the link. If you're still having problems with the link, there it is, bit.ly/3M results. Once you book that, you'll get access to my private calendar. Let's have a chat. Let's talk about your strategy. Let's see how we can help you out to succeed at the next level. Okay, listen, everybody, I'm very grateful to have had the opportunity to serve you today. Thank you for being such an incredible audience, playing full out. Do yourself the biggest favor and actually go out and do this stuff. And when you do it, come back and send me a note. Let me know how it went. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you all. We'll see you at the top. Stay humble and hustle hard. Bye-bye.